Welcome to the WonderlandSprites podcast. This is our very first episode. It's gonna get rambly, but whatever. I'm Katlyn, the admin, or Echo, and these are the lovely people joining me. What are your names?
I'm Rin.
I'm Vixie.
I'm Elfbae.
And this topic is kind of gonna go into a big snowball, but it's childhood nostalgia, movies, and TV shows. So, if you
Yeah.
guys would like to start, we'll start with Disney because I think everyone knows Disney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The first Disney film I ever watched was Alice in Wonderland. Like, I
That's a
posted pictures on my Instagram of me in it because a lot of people think I like the Tim Burton version, which I don't.
Oh, okay. So why don't you like the Tim Burton version?
Because I've actually read the book and I know what's supposed to happen, and
Oh.
the 1959 version of Disney does it better than Tim Burton does it. Which, I mean, I can still appreciate the film, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Now,
Fair
when
enough.
you say you've read it, are you talking about Alice in Wonderland or Through the Looking Glass? Because I was always under the impression that the Tim Burton film was kind of based more off of Through the Looking Glass.
He said that, but I've read both of them. Like, I have a specialty edition in my bookshelf.
Okay. See, I haven't read Through the Looking Glass yet. I just saw
Like,
something
he
about
does
that.
the king or the queen's fighting, but like they don't. There's no like Jonah Arc kind of hero coming to story. Like, there's none of that. It's just Alice. She's still very young, going through this, and a lot of it's just
Okay.
rambling. Like, Lewis Carroll never had a point. I think he was on acid when he did it. So
Probably.
It could have been acids. Could have been multiple acids.
Well, actually, little fun fact about the author is he was actually one of the main suspects for being Jack the Ripper.
oh, I didn't know that. That's
Oh.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could do
Sorry.
a whole podcast about my love of Alice in Wonderland. Like, my Sweet 16 was Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's how
But yeah, it
nerdy
was
I am.
it was mostly because his book was just so bizarre and out there. They thought that maybe he had done it.
This, I know this, like, is everybody's favorite Disney movie, but I love Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, definitely.
That's one of my dad's
Jack
favorite
is.
movies. So, like, I've seen it over 1,000 times.
It's
I
so
think Jack
good.
is the only skeleton I've actually been physically attracted to.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Well, he was sort of like the bad boy going on a mission kind of thing. So, like, little girls kind of did swoon after him.
Mm,
And
and
it's such
it's.
catchy songs. Like,
Mm,
Danny Elfman is a god.
Oh,
hmm
definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
The voice acting was superb. The
oh,
animation for the expressions was superb. Like everything about it.
Especially for, I think it was 1995 or 1993. It was,
Yeah.
like, amazing for slow motion, or, yeah, slow motion capture animation. Like, it
Hmm.
kicked the door down on everything everybody knew.
oh yeah.
Mm. I
And,
Like,
think every kid's favorite as well was the Little Mermaid, Ariel the Mermaid,
oh
or
my
the
god,
yeah.
she had hair goals. That red, though.
Yeah, I never really used to like play with Barbies or anything when I was younger, but the one doll I did play with was Ariel. I don't know
mm,
why. I think it was because it was another redhead like character.
Yeah, so, like,
And
you
I'd
had
never
your own
seen
princess.
Yeah.
Representation matters.
mhm.
I know,
Yeah.
like, I read this thing on Tumblr that says once you get older, you agree more with Triton than Ariel.
Mm.
And, like, I've
Mhm.
rewatched Ariel maybe a year or two ago, and I still agree with her, but maybe because of what happened in my relationship. So I'm like, go with Prince Eric.
I think they're like more talking about that like with the whole beginning of the movie when she's just like I've never met him, but I love him and I want to be up there. And he's just like, "What are you're talking about physically changing yourself for this dude?" So it's like I think like that was kind of the more thing that they were going about. Like you'd agree with King Triton more. Like I don't know. There's a lot of mixed
signals.
viewpoints about things. Like certain parts I agree with this character, certain parts I agree with the other characters.
But
Yeah.
we can agree that the
Just
animation is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
never read the original book though, please.
I was
Oh my
exactly about
God,
to mention
no.
that.
Yeah.
I read the original book and I was like in tears.
Oh
My
yeah.
stepmom asked me, she's like, I think I'm gonna get little Ariel for my little sister because she's starting to read, and I was like, please don't. It'll
Yeah.
ruin her.
Yeah, no, God, no. Like, I think what was the ending like? Instead of actually taking away the vocal ability, they cut out her tongue.
No, what happened is that Eric married someone from the village. She sewed her legs together because they were turning back in. She wanted to be back a mermaid, so she sewed her legs together, but then she turned into sea foam and just evaporated. Like no one got a happy
Well,
ending.
huh.
Like that's the version I've read.
The
That's
I
version
mean,
I've
Now,
read is
maybe the lady that the prince ended up marrying had a happy ending. I mean, she married a prince. That's not that bad.
well,
He got the one happy ending.
the one I read was something about like either she had to kill the prince or kill herself, and she
There
wanted
is
him to
that.
be
Yeah,
happy,
there
so
is
she
that
killed
version.
herself.
There is
yeah,
that version.
but I read that for when they took away the vocal ability, like so she couldn't speak, they actually cut out her tongue. Was in a
Hmm.
version as well. Like it wasn't just a "ooh, your voice is gone." It was no like
You
slice,
have
good
no
luck,
tongue.
ever eating
Thank you,
anything
Walt
again.
Disney, for saving us from that terrible, terrible scenery.
Oh yeah. It
What was the other one?
seems like most Disney princesses, like if you look into the actual lore, it's much darker than you'd expect.
Oh
Sleeping
yeah.
Beauties made me like cry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's asleep for like 100 years, and a king finds her and rapes her, and she
Mm-hmm.
has a child while asleep. But then the second child labor, she wakes up and realizes she's been raped, and she has
Mm-hmm.
to
Mhm.
go with that her entire life.
Oh my God.
See, like Disney saved us, but also kind of ruined us because like when we actually look into the lore of the princesses, we get
Did Disney like ever consider just writing their own story instead of making all
they
of the
Well,
tried
they
that
movies
with
have.
Brave.
happy? Well, yeah, but like besides Frozen and all that. Oh no, Frozen was inspired by a book as
Yeah, it was
well.
inspired by the book,
It
but
was the Snow Queen.
yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say Brave.
I
I think
think
was
is not copied by anybody or anything, but they tried to make their own Disney, like their own princess, and it bombed. Like,
well,
Mm.
they have a TV show right now about their own character named Sophia. I know about that.
yeah, there's that, but like they also include other princesses in it, which is really weird because they look like the anim or their dresses are more sparkly and they look really
Mm-hmm.
weird.
Didn't they like change the proportions on
What
their
they did was
bodies?
they did a revamp of the princesses, and like Pocahontas is lighter. Mulan isn't wearing like what she normally wears. She's wearing a dress, and then when in the movie does she wear a dress?
Never.
Well, she wears a little geisha robe when she's like going through the start
But
of it.
but when
Yeah, put on
you
makeup.
think of Mulan, you think of her as pink. So like
Yeah.
I went to a Disney store at my local Mall of Georgia, and they had her in a dress. And my
Mm.
husband's favorite movie is Mulan, Disney-wise. He was very upset about that.
We don't have a Disney store in New Zealand. And I see everyone's like getting those, is it like Tsum Tsums?
The
Tsum
little like
Tsums?
Those are
pill
so
shaped,
cute.
the little pill
They're
I think
not
shaped guys.
here. We don't have them.
I
My
think they're
Disney stores
only
don't have them. Like I don't
they're
understand where the hell they are.
well they're only in the UK and in Japan at the moment. I
Like
remember I was watching
we have like
Makes
Mickey
sense
Mouse.
because there's a mall near me. I actually used to work in the mall near me. So glad I don't anymore. But like, I'd always just walk in and be like, "What is there that's really cute that I could get away with buying?"
I buy
Well, actually,
teacups.
I think Canada has some Tsum Tsums now as well because there was a walk around video I was watching of a YouTuber and they were all there.
Oh wow.
I guess it
Hmm.
depends on like the demand of where it is.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
trying to branch out.
Mm-hmm. Remember that I know for a fact they started in Tokyo, Japan or Tokyo, Japan. Wow.
Everything like
Tokyo Disney.
cute and everything is like the Pokemon Center and all of that is in Japan, and it makes me so jealous.
Mm.
Like I so want to go.
Mm-hmm.
The studio,
It's so beautiful.
rub it in.
No, I'm not trying. I was mostly visiting family. There were a lot of days where it's like, so we don't have anything planned today. We're just gonna like go to the grocery store.
Well, you still get to look at all the beautifulness of Japan. Like I know there's I'd love to go for the culture, not just for
Mhm.
the cutesy shopping. Like I'd love to just see all of that because it's so beautiful.
Well, there's
Like
also the studio. Is it? I can't remember. Is it
Stu-
Studio Ghibli or
Ghibli,
Ghibli.
Ghibli?
I
Ghibli.
pronounce it Ghibli.
Is it
Okay, then
Ghibli?
there's different pronunciations, I guess.
I
Is
pronounce
it
it
Ghibli or
Ghibli
Ghibli?
just because in Japanese their G's they don't have hard and soft G's. It's just one um which is that's the hard G, right? With the G sound.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's like it's just one. If it's the J sound, that's a J. Like the
Oh,
the
okay.
one the one nice thing about Japanese phonetics, there's no different ways of pronouncing a character. I mean, you do put different emphasis on it, like, but you won't be like, "Oh, is that G like giraffe or like game?"
Oh,
That's
they.
cool though.
I've heard people that wanting to learn English, like that's the hardest language to learn because we have so many weird things.
We've
Mm.
adapted phonetics from so many different other languages,
We just steal every damn thing.
Well, I remember I saw this
like
one thing on Tumblr that was you have tomb, you have womb, but why is it not pronounced boom?
Yeah, like things like that are just like
mhm.
like since I've learned it from being a baby, it doesn't seem so foreign to me, but when people come here and they're like, "What the fuck?" I understand.
Mhm.
Extremely
One thing that
confusing
has always bothered me is silent letters. What's the point in having a silent letter if you don't pronounce it? I
because
don't
we're
get it. Like,
difficult. We
why?
are difficult.
Because Merca.
Because America.
Because New
Hey,
Zealand.
the first day is silent when you say Murica.
I have just noticed that. Like that makes it more complicated. I guess
Oh Lord.
Studio Ghibli is like people have called it the Japanese Disney, but I love Studio Ghibli more because of the female characters are so much
Yeah.
better than
They
Disney
have really
princesses.
powerful characters in it, like all around. They
Like from Spirited Away, her name in the bathhouse is Sin, but I can't remember her real name.
Chihiro.
Chihiro. She meant so much to me when I was little because it was sort of like the Alice in Wonderland kind of scenario, but she was so much more less bratty than Alice.
Hmm.
I
She
think
like
the thing that I personally love about Studio Ghibli films is, and I might be viewing this in a theatrical student kind of perspective, but as when you're cast as a character, you have to always think, what is my character's motive? Why is my character doing this? And I truly feel that in the Ghibli films, each character does have their own motive and their own reason for doing something.
I
It's not
have
like,
Yeah.
I
I,
am here to fulfill this one purpose that has no benefit for myself.
I have a
I'm just
special
doing it
edition
because
of
I
Studio
apparently have to.
I have a special edition of Spirited Away and they have like a behind the scenes of how they made it and like the little girl that does Tahiro, I forgot his name, but the guy who made Studio Ghibli, he would talk
Miyazaki?
Miyazaki, he would talk to her very like he was so sweet to her. He would tell her like this is what's happening. You have to be scared. Think about what you would do. And like he really tried to make it and they didn't even do it in a sound booth. Like they all sat in the like in a circle in the middle of a
Huh.
huge theater because they didn't have enough money to get a sound studio
Mm-hmm.
because I think at the time that they were really hurting for a movie because it was taking so long to create this one because they do all hand drawings. It's not on a computer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it took them oh crap like 5 years or so to make this, and
Oh wow.
Something like that.
like his right hand man would stay like there all the time redoing drawings and stuff. So like you really have to clap your hands with how beautiful those movies look.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just love Totoro as well, or My Neighbor Totoro, because it was just absolutely adorable. But to this day, like seeing all of those rumors and those backstories behind why it was written,
Never
like
believe them.
I don't believe them, but it was just so weird. Like just all of those stories. Like someone takes this really beautifully made movie and decides that it has to be related to a serial killer.
I know
Like, yeah,
Spirited
just
Away
go.
is, they say it's about a whorehouse, but like no. My favorite thing about My Neighbor Totoro is like they really capture what it is to be a kid meeting these
Yeah,
spirit creatures. Like he does it so well, and I love how when they cry, they fill up their eyes because that's how it feels. Like he
yeah,
gets
yeah.
those feelings, and I love him for that. Like
He really exaggerates emotions, but he does it in this really beautiful way.
because it feels like that too. Like when a character like their hair sticks up, like they all like shiver and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love that because that's how it feels in your head.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I don't like about Disney because it's more it has to look pretty, but Studio Ghibli films don't have to look pretty, but they're still
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely. I think Studio Ghibli, which sounds completely ironic considering the basis of most of the movies, I feel like it's more realistic than Disney, like regarding emotion and all
People.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I completely understand. And I actually agree.
The characters are more realistic.
You
Oh yeah.
feel more you feel more like a character than you do with Disney because I don't really see myself as any Disney character, but I can see myself as like Chihiro or Kiki or any of the others. Like I really feel that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was younger, uh I used to love Lilo and Stitch. I adored that movie. And once I got older and I my father passed away, I like really connected with that character because she had lost her parents.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you know, she just I don't know, I just felt like a really deep connection with her, and I think that was the one like movie that I became completely obsessed with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
think
the one movie that I obsessed over was actually Cinderella because when I was in my biological father's care, I was made to do all the cooking and the cleaning and the sweeping and all of those chores, and I was never allowed to go anywhere, and I couldn't celebrate my birthday or anything like that. And I just
Mm.
lived vicariously through the character of Cindy because she's got, or Cinders, sorry, because she has this amazing experience and everything turns around for her, and I kept hoping for that. So I think in a way, Disney kind of actually helped me continue and to carry on. And it gave me motivation because I thought that it wasn't really that I would eventually have a guy, it was the fact that eventually I would be confident enough to stand up for myself and to get something that I think I deserve. And that's what I feel like now being with James, which is the first healthy relationship I've ever had, but it's the best by far. Like,
it's
honestly, I love him
really
to bits.
beautiful. Because I know a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
hate Cinderella because like they say she doesn't work for what she gets, but half the movie she's working her ass off.
Yeah.
It's just
And she
like,
makes
what do you want her to do?
She was a
mm,
slave pretty much. And then
hmm
like she does get by chance a godmother and all, but like that's just the beautiful way of saying things will turn around. Just keep hoping and keep singing and whatever.
yeah. Be
Because like
persistent.
that's a good like example of karma. Because she, regardless of how her family treated her, she still was respectful and all that kind of stuff. And you see where she ends up. She gets the prince of her dreams.
Mm,
I think the only Disney princess I've ever felt like related to was when they did Rapunzel. Like that at the end where she's telling her like I can go with you, just let me save him. That was where I really
Hmm.
felt for a Disney princess.
mm.
Like
Mm.
Hmm.
they also like even though she isn't she looks like a bobblehead. She's she's very like that childish wonder and just Like, she acts like a teenager. She doesn't want to disappoint her mother, but she wants to go on this amazing venture to see the lights. Like,
Yeah.
it was super cute. Like, I really liked their version of Tangled. It's a lot better than the original.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Less morbid.
I think the only Disney princess I've never really liked, as in like how she fell in love, was Belle, because I always felt like Stockholm syndrome, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
which
little bit.
I mean I always felt bad for her because Gaston wanted to like pretty much take her away and marry her and keep her as a baby laborer.
Like essentially a
Mm.
trophy wife.
Yeah,
See,
so like I didn't like
Gaston
that.
is the scariest villain because he's the most realistic. Like, there's lines, like, one of them, like, towards the beginning, it's like, oh, women shouldn't read.
Oh
It puts
yeah.
things like ideas into their heads. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Oh my God. The sad
Well,
thing is, there are actually guys out there with that type of mentality. Like,
oh
oh my
yeah.
God.
Well,
Why
I
Mm.
was
do
about to
people
say
like that?
I was about to say the villain from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
remember his name. The guy with the really weird
Oh
purple
yeah,
hat.
he
The priest guy, right?
yeah,
Yeah, the
okay.
one who like made her. What was it? He made her
He
think
like
he killed her baby
he
or something.
lusted after her, and then he was just like, "Oh, but it's your fault that I find you
Yeah,
Oh
like
hot."
yeah, he gets the
Like,
hard on, so he blames her.
it's like, dude,
exactly. It's
control
like
your boner.
exactly.
Like when I was little, I never understood that, but now looking back, it's like, oh my god, he got a boner, so like now he's blaming her because he likes a dirty street person, like,
Which is
uh, which I also felt for that movie because Quasimodo didn't get her and he did all that shit. Like that was just
Yeah.
me. I was like, oh, she went for the hot guy, not the guy that actually really fought for her.
mm-hmm.
It's been a really long time since I've seen the movie, but I've seen a few analyses about it that was like, I don't even remember his name. I only know Esmeralda and Quasimodo's names, but
Was there like
Quasimodo was the guy that only saw the good in her. The priest dude was he only saw the bad in her, and the guy that she ended up with saw both good and bad. So
Okay, I could see
it was
that.
something about that.
Mm.
Which that I know that movie nearly bankrupted Disney because it didn't do so good. Like it was bad because it wasn't a Disney princess film. It wasn't what they were expecting.
Yeah, it
Mm.
didn't get the same audience output.
I feel bad for Disney in a way like that though. I think it's like unless it's a really pretty girl and a really handsome guy that the movie's not going to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean,
Like
like it's I liked how that even if they didn't really if the movie didn't do so good, they still treated it with respect. Like they gave it a
Yeah.
sequel, and the sequel I actually really think is a good Disney sequel. Like they
yeah.
really tried with it. It doesn't look as pretty, but that Disney is one of those people that shoot out sequels like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, my
Even if it
favorite.
is.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say even if it is straight to DVD.
Yeah.
I
I
want
mean,
to say the worst Disney sequel is the Aladdin ones.
I don't think I've even watched the Aladdin one in
I
all honesty.
The
it
reason I don't like them is because how Disney treated Robin Williams.
exactly what I was about to say.
What
Yeah.
they did is he didn't want Genie used as a advertisement prop. He wanted it specially for the movies, and
Yeah.
they you if you remember during that time, Genie's face was on everything, and
Mm-hmm.
he felt
Mm-hmm.
like that disrespected the character and him, so he dropped out. And
Yeah.
I think uh, for the cartoon, they really apologized to Robin Williams, and he said he was sorry, or he accepted it, but he was not going to do Genie ever again.
Mm.
Mm.
And they really, like, they got the guy that does Homer Simpson's voice, but they really lucked out with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think my favorite movie, in all honesty, aside from Cinderella, is actually the follow-up movie to Bambi.
Oh my god, it's so
Yeah.
like
Oh,
I do not think I've seen it.
It actually shows the dad raising Bambi and how they're like trying to connect with each other, but the dad just realizes that he's not going to be ready to rule the kingdom because he's a little kid, like, and so he
Mhm.
lets him play and he lets him meet friends and have these experiences, and yeah, just because the original movie, it was quite like all the movies back then, the really early ones like Dumbo, where it had the really scary scene where Dumbo was drunk, was actually quite scary to kids when they're really young
It was
because the
Mhm.
terrifying.
animation was so odd.
Yeah.
But in the second Bambi, the follow up, it was actually a lot more colorful and a lot happier, and it actually gets you like it
No one
shows
dies.
them growing up. Yeah, it
It's
shows
not
them
like,
growing
oh, first 10 minutes, oh, there's death.
and it
Describes
shows
up.
Thumper actually getting a wife as well. So Thumper
Aw.
gets a mate, and like I just remember the funniest thing through all that he's scared of her for a very long time, and then he falls in love with her, and then he like follows her everywhere, and it's just the cute. And she's such a sassy little bunny. Like if you remember, is it Lola from Looney Tunes? The like
Yes.
Bugs
Yeah.
Bunny.
I
Yeah,
like
she's
Lola,
much
but
like
I
that.
also don't like how she has bunny boobs.
Yeah, I
Why
thought
do
that
you
was
have bunny
weird.
titties?
Yeah, that was
Like
a bit
they were
odd.
perky, perfect. Like all the other like when they did animations for like Bugs or Taz, none of them have like male genitalia. Why does she have to have such prominent female genitalia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like
I
some weird
remember.
sex symbol.
Yeah. I remember watching Space Jam as a kid, and like this is before I even discovered anything regarding my sexuality. And I just stared at Lola Bunny's going, "Oh, she's hot."
Which
Like,
I
why am
think
I
they
attracted to an anthropomorphic bunny?
like I think they did that so the guys would like it more, but like it made it really sexualizing a bunny. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
then in the new Looney Tune cartoon, they made Lola like look normal, like no big boobies. And
Hmm.
like they gave
Yes.
her a personality. She's not just a sex symbol, and I really like how they corrected their wrong.
Well, I loved them in the. For a while, I remember they had a TV show which was Baby Looney Tunes.
That
That
Yes.
was
I
so
loved
good.
Yes.
I
that so
love
much
that.
because there was
And
no
it had Baby
sexualization and
Sylvester.
That
Sorry.
I love when they're scared of the toilet.
yes, Taz was always my favorite. Tasmanian Devil was always my
I
favorite in
honestly
those.
He
forgotten
had his
about that
video
show.
game. He had a wee video game, and it was the funnest thing ever. Where you could like spin, like I mean, you had to because he escaped from the zoo because Yosmite had him in the zoo, and so he escaped. And then you've got to go through all these levels and like get all these things in order to win and get those. I never won the game. I never finished it, but I enjoyed it, and it was like the coolest game ever because how you knocked over enemies was by doing the tornado, spinning really
That's
fast.
awesome.
And it was just the coolest little game ever. I loved it so much. It was only on PC at the time, but oh, it was cool.
Oh my gosh. I totally just remembered a movie that was so huge in my life when I was younger, and I can't believe I forgot about it until now. But Fantasia.
Oh,
Yes.
I used to watch that on repeat whenever I went to bed. And
The mops like used to scare me. Were they mops?
yeah,
yeah, they were
the broken
mops.
mops used to
Yeah,
scare
they
me
used to
too.
scare me a little. Yeah, but
Oh, and also the
uh,
one with the dinosaurs.
Do
That
you, like
terrified
right
me.
before time.
Are you talking about like the really like
No, no, no.
creepy animation dinosaurs? Like they were
Yeah, I was
like
talking about in
really
Fantasia.
human in Fantasia?
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
dinosaur sequence in Fantasia, but I think you're talking about the movie called Dinosaurs that Disney tried to
Yeah.
do, where it had like real backgrounds or like
Oh,
It was
CGI.
really, really creepy looking, and I just
yeah.
remember watching it
The
and being
monkeys
so
gave me
scared for my life.
nightmares.
I was like, no, no, these things are gonna come like eat me in my sleep, and they're so creepy looking.
I remember the toys at McDonald's. They were like hand puppets for them, and it's like, what is this? Give me a little action figure of a dinosaur at least.
It's just
Oh,
like,
you really
nope, nope,
those.
nope, nope.
I think they
Like
were trying to cash in the Land Before Time, but like make it cooler for like tweenies or something. But like it
yeah.
was the scariest animation I've ever seen.
Like why
But
try
did
to
you?
one
Do you
up
know? Sorry, you go.
Okay. I was just gonna say, why try to one up Land Before Time? It was perfect as it was. Like that
It was
movie,
like my childhood.
exactly.
Do you
Littlefoot,
know the backstory behind it?
Land Before Time.
Like what happened to the really young dinosaur? Can't remember her name. Like was
Ducky.
it Baby? Ducky, that's
Ducky.
it.
Ducky?
Oh, Jesus,
Do
The
you
no.
know
the
what happened to the
actress.
voice actor? Yeah,
Oh,
That
I
her,
didn't
was
hear what happened to the voice actor. Did
she
she?
got
she
shot
was
by her
murdered by
dad.
her dad.
And on her
Oh no.
gravestone it says, yep, yep. Like,
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
my
I just got
heart.
chills. Oh my god.
Like,
yeah.
I didn't know that as a kid, but when I watch a lot of like YouTube and those facts movies, and they're doing A Land Before Time, and they brought that up, and I was like, oh my god, this poor little girl that I love to death, this Ducky,
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't even believe in God, but I send prayers to her family.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always
Mhm.
had a special spot in my heart for Spike, just because he was so dopey.
He was, yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Ah,
Did any of you have that PC game that was like a bunch of puzzles and stuff that was like Land Before Time?
I didn't have a lot of
no,
Yes.
I
PC
didn't.
games, so.
Yes, I did. I remember that game. I used to love it.
I just remember it's like I don't remember how any of the like little games went, but I just remember I'd be on there like probably was a reasonable amount of time for a small child to be on a computer game, but it felt like hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played
Oh,
Winnie the Pooh games, like those, and Sesame Street.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm I remember two video games distinctly in my childhood, which was Barbie Rapunzel for the computer.
Oh my god, I had the movie.
The video game scared me half to death whenever they broke her broom at the end and like all the magic came out. I like would play the game and I would have to walk away while that scene played because I was just so scared of it. And then the other
Mm.
one I remember was oh gosh, the Ariel, the Little Mermaid computer game, and I distinctly remember. I don't remember much of the gameplay, but I do remember that you there was this one part where you're in Ursula's little cauldron room, and you could click on different seashells, and she would change the color of her lipstick, and then would just go
Oh,
like,
I remember that. Wait, I remember that one.
yeah, and she would just go like,
Yeah.
ugh, and like wipe it off and put on the red again.
I think one of the biggest games that I loved and loved as a kid, there were two of them. There was, I think it's Bubble Monsters. I don't know if you remember that, but it's like there are these little, like, tiny little dinosaur characters in different colors. There was like a pink one, a blue one, a green one, and a yellow, and they've all got different abilities, and you have to like go through the scrolling level, like as it scrolled 2D scroller. But it
Hmm.
was a multi-level 2D scroller, so you had to like jump down and collect potions that would make you like fly and collect other potions and things like that.
Oh, that sounds
But
so familiar.
the monster was like really big, like a big version of one of them, and you had to defeat it. And I would always lose, and I would always cry, but I would always play it again. And the other one was Sabrina the Witch, Teenage Witch. She
Hmm.
brought out a video game, but it was so hard and so scary. And there's also this one part where you had to like run through a maze and you were being chased by rats and you had to
What?
like use, yeah, and you had like giant rats and you had to like use magic to get back to the door. And I would always fail. And it was just the scary little game. But
I
for
only
some reason,
had
I love
PC
scary
games
games.
that came out of cereal boxes. Like I had the Atlantis suit,
Hmm.
Oh, oh
and I had a Tarzan game
yeah,
from
I
a
had a
cereal
Tarzan one
box.
as well.
Wait, was it the one where you had to like climb up like ladders or something?
Yes,
I
it was
had that game
so
too.
difficult. I could never get past the first level because it was
I
just
always
so difficult.
I always made it to toddler. Remember, you had to go like you
Yeah,
played as
yeah.
him as a baby, and then as a toddler,
I
and then
couldn't
as
get
an
past the
adult.
baby stage. Like I loved that game to death, but I would always lose. I had a bunch of games where you owned a pet shop. I don't know if it was Fisher Price or not, but I had like 4 or 5 games of where you owned a pet shop. Then I had a
That sounds
Barbie
really
movie
familiar.
maker. I had
Oh,
the Barbie movie maker, and then the Barbie you owned a horse.
Does anyone remember those dolls that were called Mycene?
Yeah, that sounds really familiar.
it sounds
Sounds
Like
really
the
familiar.
nice
familiar.
dolls. They were like a competitor to Barbie, and they had like different figures. And I think they flopped, but they used to have a website with more all these like mini games where you could like dress them up for parties and things. And I used to
Yeah.
love that so much.
I like the My
Which
Scene
kind of
because they did
feels.
like there was an art one and then a writing one and a guitar one
Yeah,
and they had like different kind of like things like they weren't just blah.
yeah.
Which I
Was
liked the
was
Barbie
that
movies.
the toy that the clothes like they clicked onto the doll?
No, I
Or
think
am I
she
Um,
thinking of
actually
something
had
else?
actual clothes.
was that Polly Pockets? I think Polly
Polly
Pockets had a
Pockets did
one
the
version
That
as
was kind
gummies.
well.
of rubbery clothes.
Yeah, those were rubbery. They were the
Oh,
worst
they
things
had
ever.
there was a different version as well, which they where they were magnets, and you could
I
like
remember that
stick them
version.
on. Yeah, and you could like stick them on to magnet things. I had a collection of 30 of those,
Oh
and then
Jesus.
Mattel sent out a mass email asking everyone who purchased them to send them back because it accidentally used lead paint.
Oh
Jesus.
no.
Ooh.
Yeah,
How do you
but they
accidentally
refunded you for that.
use lead paint?
I
When
don't
I
know.
was
That was how
younger,
the
all I
letter was.
had was Polly Pocket and Barbies. They even came out with Scooby Doo Barbies. Like they came out with
What?
Velma and Daphne. And they came with
Oh,
like this terribly plush Scooby and he would rip
Mm.
I
like
think
if
I
you were
remember
in.
that. I think I had the Daphne and the Scooby one.
Yeah, and
Like,
they all came with a Scooby, which is really weird. You think he'd come with just Shaggy, but whatever.
hmm
And
well,
they
I
came with
remember.
like this cardboard box of Scooby snacks, and you would lose that within 5 minutes. Like
I remember back when they had Scooby Snacks graham crackers.
they were
Those were the shit.
disgusting.
I
I
I
think
used to love
we've got
them.
some of those here still.
They stopped selling them like early 2000s in
I
America.
know they're trying to
We've got
bring
some
back
sort.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, kind of like they're trying to bring back Powerpuff Girls and Teen Titans. It's bringing back old, like, 90s to early 2000s cartoons is uh, not really a good idea because they
I
just
will
butcher
I
it.
say that the
Yeah,
new
I
Ninja
hope
Turtle,
it's nothing like the new Teen
it's
Titans.
not. The
Like,
creators haven't even seen the original. Like they said that in an interview. Which I will say the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that Nickelodeon is doing is actually really awesome.
Hmm
huh.
It they stay very true to the characters and they even come up with new villains that match the turtles kind of backstories and like style. And it's really
hmm
nice and it also brings in new people to the franchise. Which they
Yeah.
do
Mm-hmm.
look like really like teen, but I guess they were trying to stay with a younger crowd. They're
Yeah.
like much skinnier.
Right.
But they also look very different. Like you can actually tell them apart now. They're not just the
It's
same
not just who
design.
wears what color.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the 80s or whenever it came out, the the drawers and the artists would get confused and there would be parts where like Leo would be talking and you come back and it would be Raph.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I actually went and saw the new one with my brother because my brother's like a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
The Michael
fanatic.
Bay,
Hmm?
the Michael Bay turtles.
Yeah.
I did not like that because they mentioned their turtle dicks.
I
When Megan Fox
oh,
is they show it in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything if anyone's not seen it.
yeah.
They Mikey says, I think my shell just got tighter.
Oh
And
no,
it's
he says
Oh,
my I remember he said I feel my shell tightening and I'm just like,
yeah. And
that's
it's
kind of gross.
no, don't do that. And also Megan Fox is a terrible April and she had nothing to do with that story. They could have
And
done
her romantic interest, I'm like, okay, where's the other guy? I can't I'm completely blanking on his name. He wore the hockey mask. Um,
who I know who you're talking about, and I know the guy that plays Arrow, Stephen Amell, is going to play him, and I'm really
okay,
excited
good.
about that because
Well,
Stephen Amell is very true to what he does.
yeah.
He's really good.
And I was just like, but like in the first, the new Michael Bay one, I was just kind of like, why are we making her have this guy as a romantic interest when it's completely not canonical?
And also, like, it's just really just too much action, not enough turtles.
Yeah. But I mean, there were a few like one-liners that had me laughing.
It was an okay movie, but like I don't see it as canon when it comes to the turtle universe. I just see it as like
Yeah.
someone's interpretation of turtles, which I'm
Yeah.
not the biggest turtle fan. Like you'd have to get my husband in here so he could fight and talk and yell at you. But I know enough of it because I was very young, so I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
So like that's why I like the Nickelodeon version because it's also introducing me to more characters.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I got into because my brother did, and he used to have figurines and action figures of this, but Power Rangers was a huge part of my childhood.
Oh, I love Power. I only like the I don't know which one I watched because there's like 5 billion versions.
Yeah, I didn't like the dinosaur version. That one was kind of stupid.
Which my husband bought the movie from our local video store and he watched it and he was really getting into it and I'm stepping back and looking going this is cheesy as fuck. How did I watch this? Like he was laughing at the jokes and he was getting into it and I'm like I guess because it's a nostalgia thing for him and
Hmm.
not much for me. Like I did watch them but not as much. I went as the Yellow Power Ranger as in Halloween, but I didn't know her name. I called her the Yellow Power Ranger.
I think that was Kimberly
I
was her
know it
name.
was a very stereotypical Asian name, like Kimmy.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I think
god,
it.
I feel like so many Asian American characters in cartoons were named Kimmy or some variation of that.
Rugrats.
Because there was that
Oh
was
yeah.
no, the kids next door, her name was like Cookie, right?
Yeah, her name was Cookie.
But
Hmm.
it sounds similar to Kimmy.
Like
So
it was a
Yeah.
cute kawaii name. Kind like I don't understand what human in their right mind would name their child Cookie, but that's okay.
Well, that wasn't really her real name, considering all of them had code names. Like there
But
was
she
number
was
one.
known as number three. But like when we were at, when they go to
her
her house or anything, they call her Cookie.
Hmm.
Like Wallaby would call, or whatever his name was, the number four would call her Cookie.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Like it's been forever and a day since I've seen these shows, but that's what I
Hmm.
remember.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, speaking of old TV shows, there was one TV show that never refused to scare the living shit out of me. Yet I watched it every single night. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh my god. I was like, you're gonna say Courage, you're gonna say Courage. Oh, I loved it so much. Freaked me out, but I loved it so much.
Well, I used to have this really old like box computer, and
Oh, like
um,
the one Courage has?
yeah, the one that he would always talk to and like ask
Yeah.
for advice. Well, I had one very similar to it, and there was that one episode where there was a virus on it, and it came to life and took
oh
over.
yeah, and it had a cold or something.
Yeah, something like that, and it like took over. What's her face's body?
Muriel?
Muriel. And I literally, for about 2 weeks straight, sat there and could not go to sleep because I couldn't stop staring at that computer like it's going to come to life and it's going to try to kill me.
Oh.
The thing that terrified me the most is it's screen capped a lot. Is where that creepy like thing in
The
the
Return the
jar.
Slab?
Yeah, where it goes, it's okay, you're perfect or whatever.
Oh, the thing in the tub. Ugh.
No, not the Barracuda. The thing that is in like a floating space. It's like blue and it's like CGI'd. Like I probably
Oh,
like I'll
I
have to
think I know
figure.
what you're talking about.
That's not what I'm thinking of then.
I remember me and my brother used to watch that show when I was younger, and we would bond over the show. And for the longest time, whenever we were bored or whenever we were talking about the show, we would just start singing "It's Doc Gerbil's World" because I remember.
It's like this.
Oh, that. No, that
It's
thing.
like
I
it had
remember
a
that.
human face and it had like tubes coming out of its body and it said
Hmm.
like it's called the blue creature and like they did a zoom up in him and he has like this weird raspy voice and it says you're
Hmm.
not perfect and like they end the show and it's like
Hmm.
how am I as a 11-year-old or a 10-year-old supposed to think about that when I'm going to bed?
Well, there was one show or one episode that was really. It was actually really sad. The one about the snowman. That one was really
Yeah,
sad
I remember
because it was
that.
something. I think they were like trying to approach the subject of global warming in like an episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog of all things. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like he was sad because all his friends were melting, and he like wanted Courage to like rebuild them or something, and he got mad. And you know what I've noticed is in every single one of those episodes, something happens to Eustace and Muriel. Just something.
Which I
Yeah.
never like when something would happen to Muriel, I would feel like really bad. But when something
Mhm.
happened to the dude, I wouldn't feel bad. I'd be like, "Well,
Yeah, he
you're
deserved it.
mean."
He was always so mean and like scaring Courage all the time. It's like, oh, well, you
Well,
have a
there's
giant
actually.
foot fungus taking over your body.
Oh
I think
God.
you're fine. I think you're fine.
Well,
One of
there's
the
a. Sorry, go ahead.
the there's a episode where this like kitten or no the bunny comes and finds him and she's like wearing like this creepy mask and she's running away from her abusive bulldog boyfriend and
Oh, and then
Yeah.
I wanted
she
like a
gets together
spin-off
with the
show about them.
bunny lesbian lover. That
Yeah,
was my
Yes.
favorite.
I wanted a spin-off about her and or them because like I fell in love with them. And that's the worst thing about
Yeah.
shows is like around there wasn't the internet so you didn't get like fan art or something. So you just had to hope and dream they would come back.
Mhm. Well, like, um, crap. I totally forgot what I was gonna bring up. There's something about. Oh, like regarding Eustace being mean and everything, and like just generally being really loud and boisterous. Was um. Okay, I'm gonna mute my phone real quick. Um, that Muriel was deaf.
Oh yeah, where he's Courage is talking to her and she
Yeah.
goes, "I can't hear you when I don't have my glasses on."
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up as a kid, but I saw it on like Tumblr or Facebook or wherever it might have
Hmm.
been, and I was like, that makes so much sense of how she got in so much bad situations.
Yeah, because she just didn't understand what they're saying half the time. Because, most of the time she has to read their libs. Libs. Lips.
Which I like how Courage's Cowardly Dog gave you like really creepy things, but then also they gave you like the cute little dog of Courage to help you through it. Like I guess
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
really helped me feel safe, and also it really helped me for the real world because not everything is princesses and fairies and
Well,
butterflies.
one of my favorite things about the show is that literally that is their interpretation of a dog's perspective of the real world.
Yeah.
Because,
Oh,
like,
I've
they're in
seen
the
that,
middle of
yeah.
nowhere. It's because a dog never leaves his house. He doesn't know of anything else outside that house. And, like, the scary evil duck trying to take Muriel away, if you, like, put a dog in front of a duck, they're probably going to try to attack it.
Mhm.
Well, I don't
Yep.
like the later seasons of Courage when he starts talking. That was kind of weird for me.
He talked?
Yeah, like when they like Courage went away or like they took it off and like it came back on, but he could talk and it wasn't
Hmm.
just like that noise like that roar 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 noise he makes. It was like
Hmm.
legit words and it was just really jarring as a kid because I was like, "Wait a minute."
Well, I remember him saying, like, one or two words whenever he would, like, look at the screen and break the fourth wall or something.
It wasn't even
Yeah.
that. He was talking to people. Like not
Uh,
Muriel or Eustace, but like he was talking and just a lot of it and it was just really weird.
that is weird. I
It's
just
like if
remembered,
Scooby Doo lost the lisp.
oh, that'd be weird. But
Oof.
I just remembered another really good show that I used to watch when I was younger was around the same era, and it was still just as creepy, was The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah. I remember that.
Like it used to creep me out, but there's one episode that just sticks out in my head. Was the episode about the brain, the one where they had the song.
I had that song on my iPad or my MP3 player because I thought it was so catchy. But also
I still
it's a really weird thing.
I still have it on my phone.
One of the thing I had the most feels were the spider. Like I don't even like spiders and I felt
Yes,
so
Jeff.
bad. Jeff.
Yeah, the
Yes.
guy that thought the little kid was his dad. It
And
was
he was
like,
like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make
"Daddy,
you
love
proud,
me."
Dad.
And didn't he have babies at one point? It was really confusing.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wanted Billy to come and like be in with the pregnancy and stuff. And it's like, but you're a boy, I thought.
And I remember, I just love how Billy was so terrified of spiders, and he called the exterminator, and the dude walks up in like these Texan like cowboy boots, and he's like, "I'ma squish it," and he goes in there, walks back out, and goes, "I'ma need the bigger boot,"
Oh
and like
yeah.
puts on this massive. That was such a good show, and I remember, even though she was such a bad character, I used to have the hots for Eris, the
Oh
goddess of
yeah.
chaos.
She always wanted Mandy to take over the world with her, and she wanted something about fried chicken.
All I remember is the golden apple that she gave them, and they were fighting over the pieces.
I feel like her character, since her first appearance, they kind of really dumbed her down
Yeah, they
after that.
did.
I think it's because they felt a intimidating goddess would be too much for little kids to handle, so they really made her the dumb blonde, kind of.
Maybe.
I can see that.
Which it really, I didn't like it because I liked her being that mean-spirited person. She was kind
Yeah.
of like the female Hades to me.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of another good show that I used to watch when I was younger. Oh my god! Either Ed, Ed and Eddie and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Just
I
figured out that my mic was muted that whole time, and that was why you couldn't hear me talking. And I was like,
Oh my gosh, I thought
I
you
was trying to
were
get
like,
your attention in the chat, and I sent you an Instagram DM, and I was like, Vixen, your audio's messed up.
because I think this when the cat walked across the keyboard, and yeah. But just when you said Ed, Ed, and Eddie, that used to freak me out. Do you remember there was an episode? Like I know this is really weird, but like when you're at that age where like just before you hit puberty, and all
Mm-hmm.
those weird thoughts are going through your head, and you think you're weird because you're the only person on Earth feeling this way.
Yeah.
There was an episode where with those girls, and they were trying to catch them and kiss them.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That legitimately scared me. Like I would
Mm-hmm.
like cry. Also, Pepe Le Pew from Looney Tunes, the skunk that falls in love with
Yeah.
the cat. That
Yes.
used to freak me out as well. Like,
People used to be like, oh, poor Peppy, and I'm like, poor cats.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. The cat's being assaulted. Like, just
Like that cat was my favorite character ever. I was like, no, I want to take her away from that skunk and
I know
just
they did
cuddle
a
her and tell her everything's okay.
Exactly.
they did a cartoon with that actual like the cat. Like I don't know if it was a cat that looked very similar where I don't remember all of it, but it's a short of Looney Tunes where this big bulldog loves this little kitten and they think he's baked into a cookie
Yes. Oh my
Yes.
and he
god.
starts crying and then the little kitten comes back and he's like holding the cookie looking at the kitten. He's like, "You're not a cookie."
That was my favorite
Well,
thing ever.
speaking of like cute little cartoon things, am I the only one who was absolutely in love with Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit? Like thought they had like a perfect relationship?
I
Yes,
love
because he totally didn't sexualize her at all. Like he saw her
Yeah,
for
like
like
she was a very
who she was.
sexualized character, but like
Mm-hmm.
he saw her as a beautiful creature, not just giant boobs.
Yeah.
And
And I
I
love
like
how
what I really liked was that she even had a line. She's like, "I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way."
Oh, I love that
mm-hmm.
line.
yeah, I remember that.
And I just love how she loved him for his goofiness. She didn't go for a man who's attractive or anything. She's literally married to a rabbit.
She's marrying him
Mm-hmm.
because he makes her laugh, and like
Yeah.
I
Whereas
get
most guys are just like, hey, nice boobs.
like when I first watched Roger Rabbit, I never really liked Jessica because I thought she was like I didn't like big boobs or like I thought she was too pretty or whatever. And then I really listened to what she was saying when I rewatched it maybe a month or two ago, and I was like, why did I hate her? She's so nice. She's just a little. She's drawn badly.
Yeah.
Mm. Is that Jessica Rabbit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking because she just. I remember that movie, and now I think she's probably one of the most used cosplays of all time. Is people dressing up as Jessica Rabbit?
Have you ever seen the Disney car? Or Disney did a Jessica Rabbit in their parks. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think I
Like
have.
whoever's listening, Google. Okay, let me Google it now so I can tell you what to look up. Jessica. Like I'll send you guys a picture. Jessica Rabbit Disney Park. It is nightmare fuel.
Really?
Like
Really?
it's not just a woman with red hair. It is a costume. It is
Whoa.
a body costume of a woman. Like you
Oh,
wouldn't
I
think.
just saw your messages, Vixen. Your audio is off. Vixen, sorry.
Like I sent it to you guys
I
in the chat. but it is
Okay.
terrifying.
Oh God, what is that?
Oh,
Oh my
oh
God, is that a
goodness.
mask on her
It
face?
is a mask of Jessica Rabbit. You think they would have
Oh,
gotten a natural redhead or someone in a wig, gave her big boobs, and let her walk around the park?
That's
oh my
terrifying.
God. Burn
It's
it with
just like,
fire. Just
You know
burn
how
it. Do you
long
know
it lasted in the park?
how
A
long?
A
week.
day.
A
It
week.
lasted it
Uh,
lasted more because guys were like taking pictures with it, but once they realized kids were terrified of her, she was in the Toontown, like where she's from, Toontown, that section, she'd walk
Hmm.
around. Kids were
oh my
terrified of Toontown for that week.
God.
Jesus. Burn
Well,
it. Burn it.
I've only been to Disney once in my life, and I was really, really little. Like just talking about being terrified of people in suits at Disney. There was this one area where they had the villain section where you could take a picture with each of these villains, and I remember they had um Cruella de Vil. They had the guy from Hunchback of Notre Dame,
I still
and
can't
then
remember his name.
Count something, right?
No, he wasn't a count. I'll look it up while you're talking. Continue.
Yeah.
was he maybe
And
a
then
Dick the
baron?
cake face.
there was another villain. I'm trying to think of who it was. Um hmm. Oh, I know. Hades. It was Hades.
I
And
love
so
Hades.
I
Hades
took
is
our
the best.
Frollo.
Oh, Frollo, that's right.
Yeah,
And
that
so
sounds.
I took my picture with Hades, and he was just kind of standing there being intimidating. And I was with my two cousins, and we all had our hair in ponytails. And it was me and my older cousin, and we went to Cruella de Vil, and she just stood there gripping our ponytails. And I distinctly remember it hurt so bad because she was pulling on our hair. Like she wasn't just holding it for ha ha picture. Like she was yanking on my hair.
Oh.
I
And then my mom was like, "Okay, go to the last guy," and I just started bawling. I ran behind her and I hid because I was so terrified of Frollo.
Oh.
I don't. When I went, I was 5, 6, so I don't really remember a lot. But I wasn't scared of any of the villains. I was terrified of Goofy because when we went, there's a picture actually that my sister sent me. He is holding down or bending down to hug me, and when he went up, they can't feel the costume, but it grabbed my necklace and like my collar of my shirt and kept dragging
Mhm.
me up. So I was getting choked by Goofy.
Oh.
I've actually been to Disneyland. I think it was Disneyland. The one in Florida. Is that Disneyland or Disney World?
The
It's
one in Florida
Disney
is Disney World.
World. Yeah.
Disneyland is
No,
in
Yeah,
no,
Anaheim,
Disney
it
World's
wasn't.
in
It
California.
wasn't Florida. It was LA. Sorry, because it
Yeah.
was like 3 hours away from California. I think I'm really bad with geography, but this was when I was 12.
LA
My
LA
auntie,
is in Southern California.
yeah, my auntie and I live in Martinez, which is a little like town in
Mhm.
Cali, and we went to Disneyland. It was Disneyland, yep. And I remember there was a really bad thunderstorm, and we were sitting like waiting for the bus at the end of the day, and there was a big group of kids with special needs that were gone there for the holiday, and it was a big thunderstorm, and they all hated thunder, and they were all
Mm.
screaming and
Oh
crying,
my
and all of the
goodness.
characters were like
Yeah.
coming out of Disney. Like they actually let the characters come out on the rain to try and cheer them up. Some of the characters, and they were
Oh.
like screaming and crying and shouting. And then I started screaming and crying and shouting, and then. And my little cousin, who was 3 years old, started screaming and crying and shouting. So
Oh
we all had these
no.
pictures of us like bawling our eyes out, trying to be consoled by these soaking wet Disney characters.
Oh.
The bottom gate. But before that, it was great fun. And I'm thinking of saving up for a holiday to go back to America to do all that again now because I think I'll appreciate it so much more
You
now
should
than I
probably
did
go
back
to
then.
Disney, the one in Florida. It's a lot bigger.
Oh, it
Is
is.
it?
It's well, Disney World was built before Disneyland, so
So they got all
it's
that land around it so they
mhm.
can make it as big as they want. The one in
Yes.
California, they had to pick a slot or a lot. So they didn't get
Yeah.
Uh,
pick of the litter. So
Yeah. And then
okay.
also
off
the upside is if you do decide to go to Orlando to see Disney World, if you decide you want to go see Universal Studios as well, it's
yeah, you
literally
can go to
right around the
Universal.
corner.
Universal. I have been to Universal as well. It was like I remember they had this really cool 3D Simpsons ride. It was to celebrate the
Hmm.
movie coming out, and it was awesome. Like basically, you were playing. I think you were like the dummy in Maggie's mouth, and then Maggie turns into like this big giant, and she was like, this, "No, don't play with my cat ears." Sorry, cat's attacking my other ears. And then they were like, yeah, and you were like moving forward and back, and it was in front of this big like TV screen, so it
Mhm.
was the whole other room was completely blanked out, but that, so you actually thought you were going through what was happening on the screen. It was so cool.
Yeah,
I
they now
mean,
have like I almost went there last year for my birthday because I don't really do anything extravagant for my birthday. And then we looked at the prices. And I am a huge Harry Potter nerd. I have read all the books, I have seen all the movies.
Oh.
And so it's like I really want to go to Harry Potter World because I haven't been there since they renovated and expanded on it. And
Ah,
so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go get the tickets for the dual park thing because you have to go. There's like I remember
The
Hogsmeade.
like a park hopper kind of pass.
Yeah, because Hogsmeade is um on one park, and then Diagon Alley is on a different one.
Mm.
And it was just like I think they said $300 for the park hopper
For one day?
for 3 days or a
Oh, for three
weekend.
days. Okay.
I
I
think
don't know how much it cost when I was there, but I remember my parents whistling, like, you know, when they go, woo!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we're almost at the hour mark. We have 10 minutes left. So why don't we start wrapping it up so we can not have a too long of a podcast, but have long enough where it's not just a chatty chat.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll do the what we love about our bodies or ourselves just to wrap it up so it leaves it on a good note. Who would like to take the reins? I know it's like a really weird topic because no one wants to be like that.
If no one else will, I will.
It sounds like it's you're showing off your body and being the
Okay. Well, I'll go if no one else wants to start. I'll be the awkward one. Um, There honestly isn't a lot, but three things that I really do like, well, technically four, is the first one's my figure. I actually have an hourglass figure, and I didn't think I would when I was younger, but thank God for puberty, and that came in. But I blossomed really late, so I'm talking like 17 was when my figure actually came in, and then I got boobs, and then they didn't stop growing. Um, and that was the problem that year. But I really love my eyes and my hair color as well. Like I never used to love the fact I was a natural redhead because it's one of the biggest things you get bullied for. But I've learned to love it now because it's something that's unique and different and that makes me stand out in the crowd. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I really like that. That was very sweet.
thank you.
Um,
I guess I'll go. I've always really liked my legs because they're really long and I feel like that's pretty because I don't have much
mhm.
else to me, so my legs are really nice. And I also really like my hair because I can change it any color I want.
That's
And
pretty cool.
I find that makes me unique and I really like my eyes. They're very blue. And a
Yeah.
lot of people would fight me for them. And I also I've never liked my teeth. I used to be called Bucky or Beaver Face. So
Aw,
I've learned to love my two big teeth because they make me me.
Yeah.
that was really nice.
Mhm. Um,
Oh, no, you go ahead. Sorry.
okay. Well, I was about to say there's not much I can really list off, but I do like my lips, for example, because I've noticed a lot of people have like I've noticed just girls are really trying to go for like bigger, fuller lips with like injections and all that stuff. And I'm just extremely lucky to have fuller lips naturally, and it makes me feel really pretty. And as well as I have really red cheeks naturally, and I've I used to hate them. Like I used to despise them, but now that I'm older, I'm just kind of like, well, it saves time on makeup at least.
They're cute. That's a really cool thing. All right,
Um,
Elfbae.
um, it's kind of a weird thing, but I really like my cheekbones
That's
and
not weird.
That's
That's not
not
weird.
weird at
how
all.
how the bones in my face are structured. I don't know. I just feel like it just suits my head shape well. I don't.
Like, I just went to your Instagram to look at your face, and I was like, I can see that.
The cheekbones, you mean?
Yeah, like, you have the perfect, like, cheek ratio to your face.
Oh, thank you.
I
Um,
feel
I
like
don't
we
know. I
should do
guess.
the whole snaps. Does anyone remember that?
Oh, yeah,
Always a
like
fan of.
poetry slams or something?
Wasn't it Mean Girls?
I don't know.
I
Can't
don't know.
remember.
Snaps. Oh,
I
Um,
just know I do them a lot in theater.
yeah, like, I know it's a theater thing. Instead of clapping, you snap. Um,
Yeah.
So this was our very first podcast, and I think it went really well. We kind of rambled on. We never got stuck on a topic. We kind of went everywhere, which is really fun. And I'd hope to do more, and I hope that the models kind of rotate so we can get more opinions and more views on the world or cartoons or whatever the hell it might be. And I hope you guys, the followers and the listeners and the viewers, loved it. I love doing it, and even if one person watches, I'll keep doing it.
Woohoo! Mini
And
party
it,
time.
Yay!
And I guess now is where can people find you? YouTube, Instagram, wherever it may be. Where can they find you? Rin, you can go first.
Oh, well, you can find me on Instagram under X3R in 345. You can find me on Tumblr under Sinjin Shippu.
If you guys send
And
me that information, I'll put it down below.
okay, I will do that. And I'm also on Twitch, but I hardly ever stream on there anymore by myself, so.
Vixen?
Oh, right. Sorry, I got distracted. My YouTube is I think it's Little Kitten Red.
Yes.
I think. And my Instagram is little underscore vixen underscore fun times. Yeah. And that's just, I don't have a Tumblr, I don't know how to tumble, and I don't have a Twitter. I have a Twit, but I don't have a Twitter, so.
Elfbae?
I am pretty straightforward all across. My Instagram is Elfbae, my Tumblr is Elfbae, my YouTube is Elfbae. The only thing that's different is my Twitter, which is underscore Elfbae.
That's how mine is. Like my Instagram is Echo Song 16. My Twitch is Echo Song 16. I have a Twitter, but I don't use it. And I don't have a YouTube. The YouTube that I'll be using is WonderlandSprites, just a podcast. You will only see the models' faces on the YouTube. That sounded such like an old person saying that, the YouTube.
The YouTubes.
The YouTubes on the interwebs.
And I'll try to do a podcast every 2 weeks just so we have a rotation because I don't want the same people doing it, people not getting to meet everybody's voices and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
please give me guys feedback and in the comments below ask your questions and we will answer them next time.
Yay!
Woo-hoo.
Woo.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye!